Hi guys, welcome to my channel. My name is Teresa and today I am playing Jurassic TBR. Do 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 do. I just literally got done watching the third Jurassic World movie with Leandra, Rainey, and a couple of their Patreons. It was so much fun. So I've got the theme song stuck in my head and figured what better time than now to play my game. Of course, we gotta represent Jurassic considering that the new movie comes out this month. Well, next month, but the month that I am playing the game for, July. The movie comes out in July, and I'm so excited, you guys. I can't wait. One hand, I'm really excited. The other hand, I'm terrified because I'm afraid they're going to completely ruin the universe. Because there's some weird looking stuff in that movie, but I'm also really excited at the same time because there's also some really epic looking stuff in that movie. So let's hope they do good. But we are not here to talk about the movie. We are here to talk about the game. So if you're new here, like I said, hi, my name is Teresa, and this is my game, my TBR game. So this is based off of Jurassic Park, the entire universe, including Jurassic World. If you guys want to know more about my game, I will link a playlist up above. If you watch last month's video, it basically explains everything. The gist is we have the board. We have to start here at the logo. We roll a dice, we travel along the footprints until we reach the top, and we escape. The only rule is that to escape, I have to roll the exact number on the dice. So say I'm on this black footprint, that would take me 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to escape. If I'm here and I roll anything but a 5, I have to go backwards that amount of spaces on the dice. If I roll a 1, I go back 1. If I roll an 8, I go back 8. And then from there, we just move on like normal until we complete the game. I have my prompt cards, my Jurassic TBR cards, which are the red squares, my Mr. TBR cards, which are the green squares. White squares are owned TBR, black squares are thrillers, yellow square is fantasy, and the only other one is I have a nonfiction TBR square there. But that is pretty much the game. It's quite easy to play, quite simple, quite easy to follow along. It'll hopefully make sense as you're watching the gameplay. I'm actually going to move you a little bit closer now that the game board is no longer in the picture. I feel like I'm quite far from the camera. So the only obligation I have in July is one buddy read, and I'm going to be reading Three Bags Full by Lonnie Swan, translated from the German by Athena Bell. And I am buddy reading this with Leandra from Leandra the TBR Zero. I am so very excited to do this. It will be our first buddy read together. And this book just is like, it looks so cute. They even have like a little flip through. Look how adorable that is. But this one is about sheep who solve a murder. Their shepherd is killed, and they have to solve the murder and find out what happened to him. And I just think that's going to be the cutest thing ever. This is also going to be a movie soon. So it's like I need to read the books before I read the movie or watch the movie. But yeah, it looks adorable. So I'm hoping that I can somehow get this on the TBR this month, because I am going to be traveling for at least 2 weeks of July. Sorry if there were any angle changes. My dog decided to run through the camera, so I had to finagle myself a little bit. I don't know. So before we move on to July's game, let's talk about how I did in June. It is currently the 24th of June as of filming, so I still do have time to read some of these books if I haven't gotten to them yet already. Last game, I had a fantasy. I picked Rise by Freya Finch, and I did read this one. Then I had another fantasy, and I picked The Sirens by Amelia Hart, and I did read that. After that, I had a Jurassic TBR card. Unfortunately, this one got it got ripped, but that's Delta, and it was to read a spooky book. I picked The Underwood Tapes by Amanda DeWitt, and I did read that, so this card will be going into my discard pile. Then I landed on Owned TBR, and I drew Song of the Six Realms, and I am currently reading this one. Then I landed on another Jurassic TBR card, which was Dr. Wu, read a sci-fi. I picked The Lost World, and I still haven't gotten to this one yet, but I'm hoping to get to it by the end of the month because the new movie comes out and I need to read this before the end of the month. Then I had Thriller, and I chose The Cabin in the Woods by Anna Reyes, and I did read this. And another Jurassic TBR card. This is the game's favorite prompt or favorite thing to land on. And I got Zach Mitchell read a young adult book. I chose An Ember in the Ashes by Staf. I have not read this one yet, but I am reading it for the Amazing Readathon. The prompt just hasn't dropped yet, so that will be read. After that, I landed on a Mr. TBR card, and it was Don't Move, Pick a Book Blindfolded, and this is a specialty card because it has a picture on it. So the way I chose to do it was I drew out of my new TBR jar for one book, and it picked What the River Knows, and I am happy to say that I just finished this one. And then I did do an actual blindfold pick. I picked The Lost Apothecary by Sarah Penner, and I have not got to this one quite yet. Then I had another Jurassic TBR card because, of course, and it was Mr. Udsky read a book with an ugly cover. And because it has the little slashes there, that means I also picked 2 for this prompt. So like the game was really like having it out for me. And I chose Death in the Downline by Mira Adams for book 1. I did finish that. And for book 2, I chose The Screwtape Letters by C.S. Lewis. Haven't read this one yet. So again, not quite there, but almost. And then last but not least, I once again landed on owned TBR. So I picked a book from my TBR jar, and that was the book 3 by Ted Dekker. And I have not read this one yet. So if I don't get to read this one, this paper gets folded back up and put back in the jar, which I really hope doesn't happen. I still have a couple days, like I said, so I really got to get a move on. That is how last month's game went. I've already talked about my buddy read for the month. I don't think there's anything else that I have to discuss with you all before going into gameplay. So let's just play the game. Okay guys, I'm trying out a little bit of a different filming situation today, so hopefully everything works out good. Let's go for roll number 1. We've got a 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Fantasy. First roll, starting off sort of strong. We got a 5, and that landed me on fantasy. So for this, I'm going to read Among the Beasts and Briars by Ashley Poston. And I have to be honest with y'all, I completely forgot what this was about. I think like a fairy tale retelling type story. I've had it checked out on Libby for a while, and I was looking through trying to see like what should I read, and then I was like, well, that one's due soon, so I should probably read it, you know, in the first of the month. And I forgot to look what it's about, but I'm thinking fairy tales, retelling, fantasy, fairy tale type story. So yeah, that one. Let's go on to roll number 2, and hopefully I'll have more of a description of the book for you. Roll number 2. Roll number 2 is a 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Green, which is a Mr. TBR card. And we've got a one-word title. Well, so far so good. I don't want to like jinx anything, but the game board so far is playing nice. And I landed on a Mr. TBR card, which was a one-word title. For this one, I'm going to read Ambush by Colleen Coble. This is a Christian fiction romantic suspense type of story that came out this year. So romantic suspense is not really a genre that works for me most of the time. I prefer just straight up suspense. Sorry if there's noise in the background. Ranger has decided it is playtime and he's messing with stuff. So the tagline here says she'll do anything to uncover the truth of her parents' murder, even work alongside the man who once broke her heart. I do love the cover, though. Absolutely do I love this cover. It's the first of the series, and this woman named Paradise. She's from Alabama, and her parents were murdered. So since then, life has left her scarred. The abuse she suffered in the foster care system, her first love's betrayal, and the jaguar attack that nearly destroyed her career have led her to an unshakable distrust in men, in God, and maybe even in herself. So, like, the chick was freaking attacked by a jaguar? That's interesting. Dude, I don't remember much jaguars in Alabama. After 15 years, returning to her hometown as a last resort to finding her life again. She's hoping the wildlife refuge where she's accepted a veterinarian job will be the perfect place to heal from her recent traumas and unlock her memories about the night her parents died. But on the day she arrives at the sanctuary, a body is discovered on the grounds, and soon a series of deadly events threatens not only her future, but the man who, despite all odds, still makes her pulse stutter. Arson, a shooting, a break-in, and multiple instances of animals being freed from their enclosures all point back to him. But Paradise knows Blake Lawson isn't responsible, not the man who's been helping his mother manage the sanctuary these past 6 months and care for his stepbrothers in the wake of their father's death, even if his betrayal years ago cost her everything. Someone dangerous is lurking beneath the town's moss-draped trees. That is difficult to say. And Paradise refuses to let another murder disappear into the shadows. So yeah, it just sounds really interesting. I mean, the fact that she's a veterinarian working at an animal sanctuary is like my dream job, for real, like my dream job. So I'm hoping that this one works, even though, like I said, I'm not the biggest fan of romantic suspense. We shall see how this one goes. Roll number 3. Roll number 3 is a 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Another Mr. TBR card. And we have Clever Girl, Pet Pick. You might be able to hear my pet in the background. But this also means I have to pick 2 books for this one prompt. Okay guys, I rolled a 6. Like I said, so far the game is being really nice to me. I'm really hope I'm not jinxing myself here. We'll see. I rolled a 6, which is good. I got a Mr. TBR, which is good. Not so good is that I have to pick 2 books for this prompt. This is Clever Girl, Pet Pick. So honestly, I am more than happy to do that because Ranger loves the game. I love having him pick my books, so I'm not too mad about the fact I have to add an extra book on here. So what I'm going to do for this is pick 3 separate books, put some treats on them, and we'll see which one Ranger will pick. It's really nice day outside, so I'm going to do this outside, so you'll see that in a minute. But the 3 books I'm picking for round 1 are The Sociopath Next Door, which is a nonfiction that is on my 25 by 25. Oh, this is by Martha Stout, PhD. Then I'm picking Darling Girls by Sally Hepworth. This is just a book I want to read in the summertime because it feels like a very summery book. And the last one I'm picking is 3 Bags Full by Lonnie Swan because this is my buddy read, like I said. If he doesn't pick it, I might include it in the second round as well. But we'll see what happens. So here are the 3 books. Here is the puppy. Okay. Yeah, good job. You picked the right one. Good boy. You guys, he did it. He picked the correct book. I promise you that was not set up at all. He picks random, like, every time. So yeah, but he picked 3 Bags Full. Y'all saw it. This is on my TBR officially, which is so nice because it already has to be. So to get it on here on my Jurassic TBR is great. Miss Maple is the lead sheep here, and so I'm assuming that's Miss Maple there. She and the other farm animals are trying to investigate the town and see who killed Farmer George. I'm really excited for this. This is going to be really fun. Okay, so for the next section of books that I'm going to have Ranger pick from, we have Wisteria by Adalyn Grace. This is the 3rd book in the Belladonna series. I would like to get this read soon-ish. So there's that one. Another option I'm choosing is Edge of Extinction, codename Flood. This is by Laura Martin. This is book 2 in the Edge of Extinction duology. I read the first one this month in June. Absolutely loved it. It's a middle grade, so it should be pretty quick, which would be nice to get a quick book on TBR. And the 3rd book he has to pick from for me is A Solitude of Wolverines. This is by Alice Henderson, and this is like a wildlife story. What is she? She's a wildlife biologist. And yes, it's wintry looking, winter cover, complete opposite of the season I'm currently in, but that's kind of the point. I'm hoping it's cold and makes me feel cold when it's super hot out in July. So he has that one to pick from as well. Here are the books. There is a puppy. Okay. Wisteria. Good boy. Good boy, Ranger. Don't step on it. Hey, get off my book. Ranger. You were such a good boy. You get extra treats. Good boy. Well, guys, you saw it. Ranger has spoken, and Wisteria it is. This is book 3 in the Belladonna series. It's classified as YA, but I would say it's new adult. It's definitely a new adult series. So Belladonna is about a young woman who everyone around her seems to die. She is constantly losing her guardians. Her mother died when she was very young. People that are taking care of her just drop dead around her. She doesn't quite know why. And she also discovers that she kind of has a power regarding death. And she ends up meeting Death himself. And it's kind of a romance, I guess, like a fantasy romance. It feels a little bit gothic. It feels a little bit Regency era. I very much enjoyed the first one, but I gotta say, I actually liked Foxglove, the second one, even better. Like that one out of the two is my favorite. Foxglove kind of more introduces a cousin that we meet in book one, and we also are introduced to another character, Fate. So we have Death and Fate. And this is book three, and this is Fate's story, Fate's romance. The last one ended pretty interestingly. So I am very excited to see how this book wraps up. And I mean, it's so pretty. New adult fantasy romance, I guess it would be gothic type of story. Roll number 4. That's a 3. 1, 2, 3. Owned TBR. We rolled a 3, which landed me on the white footprint, which of course is owned TBR, which means I get to pull from my TBR jar. This made its first appearance last month. If you guys, again, want to watch that, everything's linked. So I'm going to shake her up a little bit, reach inside and find out what I'm going to read. So the different colors of the papers basically count as the different years I hauled the book. So let's see. Let's go for this one, a blue one. I believe that means a book I hauled last year in 2024. Okay, here we go. Here she is. Let's get it open. Ooh, The Bog Wife. Okay, I'm going to veto this. Just because I actually have plans for this one already. I'm reading this one in the fall. So we're just gonna put that aside. I'm gonna leave it out. So I'm already planning on reading it during the fall. I gave my rules, right? Yeah, I try not to veto my own own TBR ones that randomly pick like this. But every now and then we'll come across one like that I already have plans for. It's not gonna happen. So let's try again. Make sure I get everything mixed up in here. All right. And I'll go from over here this time. Okay, we got a pink one. So pink, or like the salmon color, whatever this is anything that was hauled before 2020. So 2019 and sooner. Ooh, this is kind of nerve-wracking because I do have some books on there that they've obviously been on my TBR for a long time. So I don't know what I'm going to think, but let's see. What does that say? Wolf's Angel. Oh, well, okay. Give me a minute, I'll grab it. Wolf's Angel, here we have it. Wolf's Angel by M.D. Leclan. This is an adult fantasy book. It's not super chunky. Let me see how many pages it is. Yeah, 353. So I mean, it's not like it's huge or anything, but I don't know if there's an audiobook for this, and I read primarily audiobooks. So if there's not an audiobook, I don't know if this is going to get completed, but I will try. The Viking king Athun leads his men on a raid against an Anglo-Saxon village. Men and women are killed indiscriminately, but Athun demands that no child be touched. He is acting on a prophecy that tells him that the Saxons have stolen a child from the gods. If Athun raises him as an heir, the boy will lead his people to glory. But Athun discovers not one child, but twin baby boys. Ensuring that his faithful warriors die during the raid, Athun takes the boys back to the witches who live on a perilous mountain of the Troll Wall, and he places his destiny in their hands. So begins a stunning multi-volume fantasy epic that will take a werewolf from his beginnings in the brutality of the Norse age down through the centuries. I forgot this was a werewolf book too, so that's kind of fun actually. Wolf's Angel is a blistering story of sinister magic, heart-pounding action, and doomed love set against the bleak landscapes of Viking Norway. This is a brilliant reinvention of the myth of the werewolf and marks the beginning of an extraordinary new fantasy series. Whew, that's a mouthful. Yeah, Viking werewolves. So, I mean, it sounds really good. I'm a little concerned. I am a little concerned that this is going to be very gory. I'm just dipping my toes into adult fantasy recently, so I don't know. But I'm hoping I can find it on audio, and I really hope I love it. I really hope I do. So yeah, that's what the jar picked for me for own TBR. Rule number 5. Ooh, big number here. Rule number 5 is a 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. Jurassic TBR card. We have Dr. Alan Grant. Read a book related to paleontology. 12 spaces, you guys. We moved 12 spaces. We are so close to finishing the board. I'm really scared though, because we're gonna get another 12 and have to move back 12 spaces, and it just, oh my gosh, there's a chance for a lot more books to be on this TBR, but there's also a chance that our next roll could be the last one. So, but for this roll, I landed on Jurassic TBR card, and that is Dr. Alan Grant. Read a book related to paleontology. Grant is probably one of my favorite characters of the entire universe. So glad for this one. And for that, I picked The Paleontologist, which you would think is related to paleontology, considering the main character is a paleontologist. This is by Luc Damas, and it is a haunted paleontologist returns to the museum where his sister was abducted years earlier and is faced with a terrifying and murderous spirit in this chilling novel. This is a horror, a dinosaur museum. It's like giving me like Night at the Museum vibes, but if it was a horror, which is terrifying. Simon Neely is the curator of paleontology at a museum of natural history. When he was 6 years old, his sister was abducted from the museum under his watch. The guilt has haunted him ever since. He recently went back to his hometown and the museum where this happened. But things are not what he expected. The building is crumbling. It's still closed amid the ongoing pandemic. So yeah, you have like an abandoned, or not abandoned per se, but like a shut down old museum. Freaking creepy. He starts seeing and hearing things he can't explain, strange animal noises, bloody footprints that no living creature could have left, a prehistoric killer looming in the shadows of the museum. Ooh, it just sounds so good. I have not heard the best things about this though, unfortunately, but I'm gonna try it out. I'm definitely really, really picky when it comes to horror. I don't like anything that's like extreme. I like more of the psychological versus the like other types. I don't know. This does sound a bit psychological, so I'm hoping this works for me. Okay, I zoomed in a little bit on the board so you guys can hopefully see that better. So let's go for, well, this could be our final roll because we have 1, 2, 3, 4. So I have to roll a 4 to be able to escape. If I roll anything other than a 4, I go backwards. That amount of spaces. It would be really nice if I could roll a 4 this time because I'm going to be pretty busy this month. So let's see what we got. No, we did not get a 4, but we did get a 2. So thankfully we only have to go back 2 spaces. 1, 2. That is a Jurassic TBR card, just to show I'm not cheating. Here we go. We have Lewis Carruthers. Read a book with a dual timeline. Well, we didn't beat the game, but we couldn't have gotten, like, literally almost could not have gotten a better roll. The best roll we could have got was a 1. We got a 2. I will take it. And we landed on another Jurassic TBR game, and it is Lewis Carruthers. Read a book with a dual timeline. So for this one, I decided to go with a book that Ranger didn't pick, and that's Darling Girls by Sally Hepworth, because this does have a dual timeline. We have a before timeline and a now timeline. So to me, that counts as a dual timeline. This one, I think it's about like a foster family. Yes, it is Jessica, Nora, and Alicia. When they were young girls, they were rescued from family tragedies and raised by a loving foster mother, Miss Fairchild, on an idyllic farming estate. But their childhood wasn't the fairy tale everyone thinks. Miss Fairchild has rules. Miss Fairchild could be unpredictable, and Miss Fairchild was never, ever to be crossed. In a moment of desperation, the three broke away from Miss Fairchild, and they thought they were free. Even though they never saw her again, she was always somewhere in the shadows of their minds. When a body is discovered under the home they grew up in, the foster sisters find themselves thrust into the spotlight as key witnesses. Or are they prime suspects? Sounds good. I love me a good thriller. I love reading thrillers in the summer. The sounds, I mean, I know if it sounds per se like a thriller, a summer thriller, but the cover is giving me summer thriller. So I decided to get this one because I really want to read a summer book this month. Okay, and then from here on out, just roll till we escape. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I roll a 6 or more, I escape. If not, we just keep moving forward. And I get a 2 again. I don't know how well you can see that, but I got a 2. So back to where I was. 1, 2. Another Jurassic TBR card. Mosasaurus. Oh my gosh. Read a book with mythology. And it has the slash marks, which means I read 2 for this as well. Okay. Once again, this game, you guys, this game has no chill. I thought it was being nice to me. Like I said, I must have jinxed it to myself because once again, we roll a 2. Once again, we land on a Jurassic TBR card, and once again, we have to pick 2 cards for 1 prompt. Literally, I swear, this has never happened to me before where I've gotten multiple of these in a game, and then both last month and this month I have. Maybe I'm just getting them out of the way so I don't have to deal with them in the future. But anyways, this is Mosasaurus. Read a book about mythology. So like I said, I have to read 2 books for this one prompt, and I have to read both of the books for the card to be able to go into the discard pile. So for this, I am choosing Bemused by Farah Roshan. All I know about this is it is a retelling of one of the muses from Disney's Hercules. That's literally the only thing I know about it. I don't want to know any more. It's one of my most anticipated reads of the year. It came out earlier this year. I'm so excited that I can hopefully get to it this month because it just sounds so good. I love the muses. Disney's Hercules is like one of the better of the Disney movies, in my opinion. I love it so much. So I'm so excited for this one. And the second one I will be reading for this prompt is Voice of the Ocean by Kelsey and Peacha Shea. I can never remember how to pronounce her last name because she is a YouTuber. She plays The Sims, and she has a character who's also named Kelsey, and the name is just slightly different than her own name. But anyways, it's her debut book, which is really interesting because she's a gamer. She's like I said, a Sims YouTuber. So kind of interesting to see her write a book. This is a Little Mermaid retelling or inspired by The Little Mermaid. Book about mermaids, pirates, and all sorts of good summery, oceany stuff. I am very excited to read this. I mean, well, okay, I say that. I'm cautious. I should say I'm cautious to read this because on one hand, I think it could be really, really fun because I really like Kelsey as a YouTuber. I think her games and the storytelling that she does to The Sims is super fun, but it's also her debut and she's not like someone that I ever thought was an author. So we'll see. We shall see. But that one, mermaids, that's mythology. That's why I'm picking this one for this prompt. Let's see if we can finish this gosh darn game before I have to put any more books on my TBR. Can this please be the last roll? Please, please, please. Oh my gosh. Again, we get a 2. Oh my goodness. Okay, 1, 2, another Jurassic TBR card. And what do we get? This one kind of cut off a little bit, but Peter Lindau, read a book about a cult. Of course, the game is like, no, you are not done. We rolled a 2 once more, got another Jurassic TBR card, and this one we got Peter Ludlow, read a book about a cult. So for this, I'm picking Angus at the End of the World by Kelly McWilliams. It says it's The Handmaid's Tale meets Wilder Girls in this unique voice-driven novel. So not really buzzwords for me. I wasn't really a fan of either books. I mean, I understand the commentary being said, but like the execution was just like, okay for me. But yeah, this is about a girl named Agnes who lives in a cult. She is from a cult, and she doesn't quite know it, but she's in a cult controlled by a madman who calls himself the Prophet. Then she meets Danny, an outsider boy, and begins to question what is and isn't a sin. Her younger brother, Ezekiel, will die without the insulin she barters for once a month, even though medicine is considered outlawed. Is she a sinner for saving him? Is her sister Beth a sinner for dreaming of a world beyond Red Creek? The Prophet grows more dangerous. She realizes she must escape with her brother and leave everyone else behind. But the thing is, the outside isn't too safe either, considering there is a viral pandemic burning through the population at a terrifying rate. As she ventures forth, a mysterious connection grows between her and the virus. But in a world where faith, miracles, and cruelty have long been indistinguishable, will Agnes be able to choose between saving her family and saving the world? Sounds really interesting, honestly. I don't know if it's like a COVID-like pandemic or if it's something completely different, but I'm interested to read it. I love cult books. There was another book I read by Tosca Lee called The Line Between, which is similar, where it was a girl escaped this cult only to find out, like, it was a doomsday cult, only to find out that doomsday was truly upon the world. So it sounds like it might be something kind of interesting, like you leave one evil for another evil, but she's somehow connected to this virus somehow or another. I'm very interested to see how this turns out, and I love myself a good cult book. This is a YA book, so it should be a pretty quick read. Let's go for our, hopefully our last roll. If I get 2 or more, we're good, you guys. We're good. Just anything but a 1 would be nice. Anything but a 1 would be nice, game. Oh, thank goodness. That's a 5. That's a 5. So dun dun. So we have officially escaped Jurassic TBR. Okay, guys, it's done. We have officially escaped Jurassic TBR. I was not expecting to have as many books on this TBR as I am, especially with the way it started. It started so good. And then at the end, it was like, nope, I'm still going to get you. The one I'm most intimidated by is Wolf's Angel. So we'll see what happens with that one. So here is the stack of physical books that I have that will be on my TBR. So first off, we have Fantasy, which will be Among the Beasts and Briars. Then I have One Word Title, which is Ambush. Then I have Pet Pick, so we have 2 for that. We have Three Bags Full, and then Wisteria. Then I had Owned TBR for Wolf's Angel. Then I had a book related to paleontology. We have The Paleontologist. After that, I had a book with a dual timeline, The Darling Girls. Then I had 2 books about mythology, which is Bemused and Voice of the Ocean. And last, a book about a cult, which is Angus at the End of the World. So that's 9 books on my TBR. Not quite as many as last month, but still quite a bit considering I'm going to be traveling for the first half of the month. So we'll see how things turn out. The only one that I know I'm fully committed to is this one because it's going to be a buddy read unless we decide to dig an effort or something. But I don't see that happening. So that's the only one I know for sure I have to read. Other than that, these are all just hopefully we'll read this month because I really don't want to have to put these cards back in the pile. Thanks you guys so much for watching my Jurassic TBR round. I don't even know what round this is. It'll be somewhere on the screen in the title. But yeah, I'm so grateful for all of you who stayed to the end of this video. If you stayed to the end, make sure to give me a big thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you have not already. And leave a dinosaur emoji down below because we're talking Jurassic Park and it's coming out. The new one, Jurassic World Rebirth, is coming out in just a few days. I've already got my tickets. I'm so excited. Let me know if you have read any of these books or if any of these books sound interesting to you, if you love them, if you hate them. All of your thoughts down below. Let me know what you're most excited for in July, if you're going to watch the new movie or not. Thanks so much for watching, guys, and I hope to see you in my next video. Bye!